Hello everyone, I am back with part 4 of my book haul. Thank you for my new subscribers. You know who you are. I appreciate that, and I love the comments. I like to read and reply back to you. I try to do that quickly as possible. And so I have more books to show you and to talk about. And let's get started. Okay, so this is still in the month of July that I purchased these books. I'm whittling down. All right, first we're going to go with In the Face of the Sun, and this is by Denny S. Bryce. Well, as you have known of other books, one other book I definitely know that she wrote that's gained a lot of attention, and I will tell you about this one. It's a she writes all historical fiction, and she has some coming out next year. That's going to be another video. She is cranking them out, and I hear how good a writer she is, so I'm looking forward to reading all of her books. But this one here, In the Face of the Sun, is set in 1928 Los Angeles. The newly built hotel, Somerville, is the hot spot for the city's glittering African-American elite. It embodies prosperity and dreams of equality for all, especially Daisy Washington, an up-and-coming journalist. Daisy anonymously chronicles fierce activism and behind-the-scenes Hollywood scandals in order to save her family from poverty. But power in the City of Angels is also fueled by racism, greed, and betrayal. And even the most determined young woman can play too many secrets too far. Okay. 1968 Chicago for Frankie Saunders, fleeing across America, is her only escape from an abusive husband. But her rescuer is her reckless, profane Aunt Daisy, still reeling from her own shattered past. Frankie doesn't want to know where her aunt is up to so long as Daisy can get her to LA and safety. But Frankie finds there is no hiding from long-held secrets or her own surprising strength. Daisy will do whatever it takes to settle old scores and resolve the past, no matter the damage. And Frankie will come up against hard choices in the face of unexpected passion. Both must come to grips with what they need and what they're left behind, and what they've left behind, and all that lies ahead. This is going to be good. Next purchase I have is Gone Like Yesterday. Gone Like Yesterday by Janelle M. Williams. I had never heard of this author, and I did watch a interview with her on a YouTube channel, and it sounded very interesting. It sounds like she really has passion. So here, this is a literary fiction, and it is a lyrical debut novel about family and legacy, but also a literary exploration of Rachel's identity, self, and what it means to be found. This novel employs magical realism to explore the majestic and haunting experience of being a Black woman in today's America. Gone Like Yesterday follows two Black women, Zara, a listless college prep coach, and Sammy, a teenage girl and budding activist soon off to college, who are drawn to each other through the songs of Gypsy Moss. Gypsy Moss had been singing the songs of Zara's ancestors to her for years. So when Zara realizes that Sammy might be a moth person too, their paths become intertwined. Well, I'm not big on realism or fantasy. However, I guess I was just attracted to the cover because I guess it has the moths on it. And I've been just getting a lot of books lately around moths. So there must be something to it. I think I need to do some research and dig a little deeper, but this is another TBR book. So just coming at you with this information. All right, next, my other purchase was, and this is circulating through the YouTube. I think there was a book chat on this book, and Read So Lit with Dee Dee. Anyway, it's called In the Upper Country by Kai Thomas, and it's a historical fiction. And it's the fates of two unforgettable women, one just beginning a journey of reckoning and self-discovery, and the other completing her life's last vital act, intertwined in this sweeping, powerful novel set at the terminus of the Underground Railroad. I'm sorry if I'm getting this all wrong. This is from the cover, so I'm not revealing anything different from what's there. I just had to blow this up so I could read it to you. In the 1800s in Dunmore, a Canadian town settled by people fleeing enslavement in the American South, young Lucinda Martin works for a crusading Black journalist. One night, a neighboring farmer summons Lucinda after a slave hunter is shot dead on his land by an old woman who recently arrived via the Underground Railroad. When the old woman refuses to flee before the authorities arrive, the farmer urges Lucinda to gather testimony from her before she can be condemned for the crime. But the old woman doesn't want to confess. Instead, she proposes a barter, a story for a story, and so begins an extraordinary exchange of tales that reveal an interwoven history of Black and Indigenous people in a wide swath of what is called North America. I'm gonna stop there. So yes, historical fiction. I believe it's set in Canada. Yeah, Canadian town. And I know that I have a friend who has found her roots in Canada. So this would appeal to me in that regard. And who knows, maybe some of my ancestors are from Canada. I'm digging into my ancestry DNA and seeing where all my ancestors were. So this may give me some insight into the Underground Railroad that led to Canada. I lived in Michigan, and Michigan also had a path in Detroit, the downtown area, which is right before you get to the border of Canada, that they helped the enslaved through the Underground Railroad, through a church. It has a marker and everything that led them to Canada. So anyway, that might be a very good read. I have heard reviews, but I try not to focus on that and give my own opinion. All right, my next purchase in the month of July was People Person. And this was from the best-selling author of Queenie. And it is literary fiction. So People Person, and this is the UK cover. I'll have up here the US cover, which to me was a little on the boring side. And again, I'm a big cover person, but this is the UK cover. And so I purchased that. And you may recognize this one. This is Queenie, in which circulated quite a bit. People have done reviews and so on and so on. However, we're going to talk about People Person. And I hope to get to this and have a review for it somewhere down the line. All right. If you could choose your family, you wouldn't choose the Penningtons. Dimple Pennington knew of her half-siblings, but she didn't really know them. 5 people who don't have anything in common except for faint memories of being driven through Brixton in their dad's gold Jeep and some pretty complex abandonment issues. Dimple has bigger things to think about. She's 30 and her life isn't really going anywhere. An aspiring lifestyle influencer with a terrible and wayward boyfriend, Dimple's life has shrunk to the size of a phone screen. And despite a small but loyal following, she's never felt more alone. That is until a catastrophic event brings her half-siblings, Nakisha, Danny, Lizzie, and Prince crashing back into her life. And when they're all forced to reconnect with Cyril Pennington, the absent father they never really knew, things get even more complicated. Oh, that's going to be some family drama right there. Family drama. So if you like family drama, this is definitely it. Yes, indeed. Oh, and I love the cover. Cover's pretty. All right. Another purchase, month of July, What's Mine and Yours by Nima Coster. All right, this is also a UK edition. I'll show the US edition right here over my shoulder. And this is from the author of Halsey Street. I've never read that as well. It's a sweeping novel of legacy, identity, the American family, and the ways that race affects even our most intimate relationships. A community in the Piedmont of North Carolina rises in outrage as a county initiative draws students from the largely black east side of town into predominantly white high schools on the west for 2 students, G and Noel. The integration sets off a chain of events that will be their 2 families together in unexpected ways over the next 20 years. On one side of the integration debate is Jade, G's steely, ambitious mother. In the aftermath of a narrowing loss, she is determined to give her son the tools that he'll need to survive in America as a sensitive, anxious young black man. On the other side is Noel's headstrong mother, Lacey May, a white woman who refuses to see her half-Latina daughters as anything but white. She strives to protect them as she couldn't protect herself from the influence of their charming but unreliable father, Robbie. Okay, that is also some family drama, racial issues, heritage, culture. I mean, just reading that, I come up with a list of things. So, What's Mine and yours. That may be interesting. All right. Okay. And I received a copy for review through NetGalley. I don't know if any of you are aware, NetGalley is set up for reviewers who can request books, or they can recommend a book for you to download and read and give an honest review for. Well, I got one for this book called Homeward. Homeward is a novel by Angela Jackson Brown. It's a historical fiction. And anything historical fiction grabs my attention. The publication date is October 10th of 2023. And I'll briefly tell you what it's about. The country is changing and her own world is being turned upside down. Nothing and no one will ever be the same. Georgia, 1962. That's the place, not the person. Georgia, 1962. Rose Perkins Bordon returns home to Parsons, Georgia, without her husband and pregnant with another man's baby. After tragedy strikes her husband in the war overseas, a numb Rose is left with pieces of who she used to be and is forced to figure out what she is going to do with the rest of her life. Her sister introduces her to members of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Young people are taking risks and fighting battles Rose has only seen on television, feeling emotions for the first time in what feels like forever. The excited and frightened Rose finds herself becoming increasingly involved in the resistance efforts. And of course, there is also the young man, Isaac Weinberg, whose passion for activism stirs something in her she didn't think she would ever feel again. Never heard of the author. I will read this because I have to review it. I'm going to try to get it read before the publication date. I honestly don't think I will, because I am also reading a book for the month of October, and that book is Take My Hand by Dolen Perkins-Valdez. Now, I have her other books, which is Winch and Balm, I believe, and I heard those were excellent stories. This has garnered a lot of attention, a lot, and I'm reading it with my book club for discussion for the month of October. I've started it already, but I haven't gotten far. I mean, like chapter 5. However, I'm listening to it in audio as well as tandem reading and listening. And it's good so far, very good. It's a historical fiction, that is no doubt. A lot of the scenes take place here in Alabama, for instance, Montgomery, which is approximately 60-something miles from me, I would say. I'm closer to Selma, and she mentions Selma as well. For instance, the hospital that she was trained in, and the Good Samaritan Hospital, which it's a bombed out shell right now. It looks like it's abandoned, but it's still standing in the middle of Selma. And anyway, the journey so far is good for this book, and I look forward to a full review on my blog, and I'll have that information down below as well. But it's so fallish. Look at the leaves. Take my hand, and it just, it's heartwarming from the cover. So anyway, that's what I'm reading now. I'm also reading still, I think I mentioned this in another video, The Scent of Burnt Flowers. And this is by Blitz Bazawule. He is a director, an actor, writer. And I hear this book is going to be put into a series or a movie, I'm not sure, but available streaming or on television somehow. And it does have a little mystical fantasy in it. Again, not my genre, but so far, it's fine. I was entertained from the very first chapter of this book, and I am more than halfway done. I think I'm into chapter 13. Getting ready to go into 14, and it's good. It's held my interest up until now. I'm good with everything. It is a drama, it's crime, a thriller, suspense type thing. Perhaps this is the author's forte, but this is a good read. I can see myself edging towards a 5-star on this, maybe 4.5, but you know, the mystical fantasy thing, but they briefly cap on it so far, and it's just a good story. It keeps, there's no boring parts. It keeps moving, and so I'll have a full review probably on this as well. This was sent to me by the publisher for a review, so I have such a stack of books that I have to review from publishers and giveaways and so on and so forth. And I hate it when I kind of sit on them and I drag getting a review out, but I eventually will. That's not the issue. I will get the review out. And real quick, before I end this video, I just want to show you a gift that I received, and I really like it. It's called Quotable Notables, and it's Rosa Parks. Some of you may have seen this in the store, but I just thought it was awesome. It's stickers, and I don't know if this is a bookmark, and it's got Rosa Parks, and in the back you can see it's a sticker. I think it even has the bus, and it has some quotes. For instance, this would be good in a book journal or a planner or even a calendar, but this was given to me, and thank you, Susan. And I am looking forward to using this. As you know, that bus that Rosa Parks sat on was on a tour in museums, and I know definitely it was at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. And I don't know if they move it around or if it's stationary, but the last I heard, that's where it was. And also a note, they moved a house here in Selma, Alabama, where Dr. Martin Luther King and some of his other colleagues and constituents would go and gather and plan and make arrangements for the marches or what they're going to do as far as the civil rights movement. Well, that house is being moved to the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. they're getting the house, and they're going to keep it to its original state. And I hope next time I go, because I'm from Michigan, that when I go for a visit, I'll be able to see it, because I didn't get to see it when it was here. So that's just a side note. But thank you for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe if this is your first time seeing my videos, and I will keep them coming. I will have a part 5 of my book haul, and also tell you what I'm reading and what I'm enjoying. And then at the end of the year, there'll be a wrap up. So thank you, and bye.